We're live.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is the Ultra Bros. This is our sixth episode. Um, so yeah, make sure you tune in, and we're gonna try to keep the party going. So here we go.
All right. What are we talking about this week?
What's on the topics this week? Well,
Race nutrition.
race day nutrition. Race nutrition or race day?
Race both.
All right. Yeah, first off.
I'm up first. What do we normally talk about when we start off?
Nothing. Race day nutrition. That's what we're talking about right now when we're starting off.
Yeah, we're starting. We are starting it off in race stage nutrition.
Okay. So normally I would say we probably talk about what we eat the night before. That's generally where we start. I mean, you can start 2 days out, I guess, but normally my race nutrition doesn't really start until the night before, which usually I'm just a cheater and eat a Subway sandwich because that's what has worked. So like a veggie Subway sandwich with some, actually I don't do guacamole anymore, but just a regular veggie sandwich from Subway the night before a race. Full foot long.
Gotta get those carbs.
Yep.
What about the day of?
So normally before, if the race starts early in the morning, then I like to get 2 hours before the race. I like to get about 2 to 4, probably about like 300 to 400 calories, so like 3 bananas or 4 bananas at that point before a race, and then I start drinking about an hour before the race. I start drinking Tailwind, just like one scoop in my water, so I can get hydrated and get some more carbs flowing there.
During the race?
During a race, again, it's just Tailwind nutrition as much as possible. So usually 250 calories, so 2.5 scoops, in a 20-ounce water bottle per hour. So however long the race is going to be, if it's 8 hours, and 8 bottles of water, and just keep going. And if I feel like I need to eat something, usually I'm pretty good at eating pretzels. Stomach handles that pretty well throughout the race. I've eaten dates before during a race. Usually, like if I go to dates, then I'll start eating 2 dates, which is like 50 calories every like 2.5 miles. So give or take 20 to 30 minutes on top of everything.
You don't like to eat while you don't like to eat. You like to drink Towen and not real food.
Yeah, it's easier on your stomach. So like, well, number one, you're having to drink water anyway, so you're having to get hydrated somehow.
Mm.
Number two, the reason I'd rather drink Tailwind is because it has carbohydrate and it has glucose and fructose in it, a blend. So it basically hits your gut and your body can use it right away. It doesn't have to go to your liver to process or break down any kind of carbohydrate, such as like maltodextrin or cornstarch. It doesn't have to go to your liver to process. It just goes right to where you need it right away. All as well as a second thing, you can get your calories from your drink rather than having to eat, chew, or having your stomach break down any foods. Also, the third thing is because it has electrolytes, which, yeah, like studies still don't show like, totally that they help or don't help, but people believe in them, and hey, salt helps you not cramp as much, I guess. Salt on your tongue, anyways. So instead of taking like an S cap or a E cap or one of those like salt pills or electrolyte pills, you can get it through your drink, and it tastes like old Gatorade, like how Gatorade used to taste before we were all born.
Yeah.
Before it became industrialized.
Yeah, or started using high fructose corn syrup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Normally, I would say like the way I train with that is usually if a run is less than 10 miles, I just drink water throughout. I don't need to take any kind of carbohydrate. Drink if it's going to be a long run, like Saturday or a Sunday run, then I will do like 2 scoops per bottle, so I can train my body to go on a little bit less. And then once I get to a race, I'll have the extra there for me to be able to go quicker and have more calories there.
You know, well, it's probably the good thing about taking Tailwind is that there's also not any fiber in it as well, so you're not having to go to the bathroom often because there's no fiber, which keeps you from basically going to the bathroom because it's not going to move through your intestinal tract.
Yeah, and then generally, like, so Tailwind is what, like, so just outside of calories, it has 25 grams of carbohydrates, or basically it's just sugar, through 1 scoop. So every hour, I'm taking in roughly like 63 or 62.5 grams of carbohydrates, which, like, they say anywhere from like 50 to 60 is like the perfect spot for someone that's like 150 pounds that can process. That's the average.
Yeah.
So that's like the perfect zone for me that I've learned.
Yeah, I've heard you want to take in like 60 grams of carbohydrates per every hour you're exercising, or it's like half of your weight in grams or something, I think, is what you want to take in carbohydrates while you're doing some kind of exercise.
Yep.
What about you, Joe?
Nutrition. Well, normally I run shorter races, so nutrition's a bit easier on those races. But yeah, I'll go over some of the shorter races since I do run cross country in college. It's important. Nutrition is important for those kind of races too, if you want to be good and fast. So as far as nutrition for like a 5K, an 8K, or a 10K, what I would normally do is the whole week prior to the race, I try to keep all my meals obviously high carbohydrate, not like excessive carbo loading, but cutting out crap in your diet. A lot of us, we're human beings and we like foods that are not necessarily good for us, but there's a lot of vegan foods that are not good for, I don't know, a cross-country runner, I guess. So a lot of those, when I was in season, I would cut out the week before my race. And then the night before, I always have a pretty big carbohydrate meal the night before. So I usually try to keep it like a fruit smoothie or something like that. But during my season, I would have rice, or rice was definitely a go-to the night before. Something that's really high carbohydrate so that when you start racing in the morning, you're not hungry and starving and want food. And then before a race, I would just drink water, probably about 12 ounces of water or less before a race. And then I would also eat like 3 bananas before a race. That was about like an hour or 2 hours before. And obviously you don't eat during a 5K or a 10K race. But then afterwards, honestly, during the season, I didn't care what the heck I ate because it was after the race and you're already done. But what I noticed would work for me is just before the race, getting something in the body, and bananas seem to work because they're easy to keep track of, and I would eat a lot of them. So I would have about 2 to 3 bananas before a race, and that's pretty much what I do. But for a longer race, the 50K that was supposed to be 100K, but we dropped it halfway, so we finished 50, me and Keith. But what I did for that race was the night before we were camping out, so we couldn't have any cooked food. I would have liked to have rice that night because it's a lot easier to get more calories in that way than by eating bananas. Or drinking banana smoothies is a lot easier to get more calories in. But I think I just ate a lot of bananas and drank a lot of orange juice the Friday night before. And then the morning of, I was just eating bananas, drinking sugar water. So like I put about a quarter cup of sugar approximately into my, I think it's a 12-ounce, 16-ounce water bottle. I think that's like 300 calories, I think, somewhere in there, 300 to 400 calories. And that's what I drank throughout the race. And then I would also, at each aid station, I ate 3 bananas. Well, try to. There was like 1 or 2 aid stations where I didn't, because I just wanted to move on. But every aid station, I would have 3 bananas, and then at the 10-mile mark, I drank some pasteurized orange juice, and then I also, just sugar water basically throughout the race, and then afterwards just carbohydrates. Actually, not carbohydrates after that race. We had a lot of crap food. Eating crap food after a race is okay because you don't know what? You've already finished. But as far as during, it was bananas, sugar water basically, and a few dates. I had at one aid station, but trying to keep it simple is, I think, a lot better than being very complicated with your nutrition when it comes to race, because a lot of people will put down Coke this, they'll put down
Oreos.
They'll put down chicken broth, they're going to put down Oreos, and then they're putting all these random foods in their body that they normally don't train with. Honestly, a lot of people that I saw, I'm like, you really eat Oreos? You're eating Pringles on your long runs? You're like, and so then you do this stuff on race day, and your body doesn't know what to do with it, really. So you want to your stomach gets upset and stuff. So trying to keep it to a few select foods, or like Alex takes Tailwind, or like sugar water or something, that a few things, trying to keep it simple is going to help, with your nutrition, help you to be more successful. That's what I've noticed. So, and trying to do the same thing every race, because if you keep on changing it up and you don't follow a system and you aren't consistent, then you're going to have off times and you're going to have bad races, good races. But if you're more consistent, then your races will be more consistent too. So, is that good?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think a lot of people think that with ultra runners especially those ones that constantly take a sugar or a glucose or a fructose or even a maltodextrin type drink, that they're just burning through carbs. And if you take and this new study that's coming out is going to show not really how people fat burn, but if you take mine maximum aerobic function and put it up against someone that probably does eat a lot more fat and probably does fat burn more, it doesn't matter. In the end, I'm still going to have a lot more glycogen stores because I'm still building up my carbs throughout the race, but I'm not having to burn through carbs as much because I'm not running as high as our heart rate. Now, if I was running a 5K, yeah, I'm going to blow through glycogen stores like crazy, but I don't need that many.
Yeah.
It can only be 20 minutes or less. Or even a half marathon you can do in less than 2 hours. For quite a bit of people out there, you don't need, in theory, you really don't need that many calories during the race because you have the glycogen stores for 2 hours of running to be able to be almost anaerobic for 2 hours. So really, those calories that you eat in the beginning of a race, like 100K or 50K, are really only going to help you when those glycogen stores break down after 2 or 3 hours in that race of you having to push through your body. It's just going to help you front load those calories in the beginning, where your body doesn't have to tap in to nothing once that time comes. Because once you go ketogenic, those guys say you don't feel like crap, but you feel like crap.
Well, every runner, no matter what they say, they might train low carb during the week, but on race day when you're running, especially if you're an ultra runner, you're running anything longer than a 50K. You don't tell me you're drinking olive oil and you get energized. People go for Coke and caffeine and
they run on stimulants and sugar.
Even something that people go for potato chips, which is 50% fat most of the time, it's still got 50% carbohydrates. If you're really a fat burner, you're not going to eat. You won't be eating 20%, 10% carbohydrates, not 50. Even potato chips. So people want their carbs and their their sugar because that's what our body. I mean, that will give us energy. Like, and if you ain't got energy, you odds will just stop.
Basically.
Yeah. So that's why I look like front load a lot of those those calories because your body can process those and continue to store them, even in the beginning of a run like that.
Plus, it keeps you from getting sore later on. Also, when you start building lactic acid and all that stuff from lack of carbohydrates, basically lack of ATP. Yeah. What I eat?
You're up next, Keith.
Shoot, man. I think I change it every race, to be honest. Usually I like to stick to mostly fruit, but like Joseph said, last long race I did, we started using sugar water, and that you seem to be able to get more calories in a quicker amount of time, which is nice. Where instead of like eating bananas and stuff, like I know when I would eat bananas and stuff, I would go into an aid station and I would walk for about like 3 minutes just eating like 3 bananas, which is only 300 calories. Where like we started using sugar water a little bit, and we would put like a cup of it into our water bottle, 16-ounce water bottle, and that's like I think it's like 500 calories.
Here's a half a cup.
Oh yeah, half a cup is like 500 calories, and you can just like suck that down like basically water, and it doesn't really keep you hydrated because sugar kind of is a diuretic. So you really have to also drink water at the same time you're drinking sugar. But other than that, I didn't feel that bad, and I've been using more sugar on my like long bike rides and stuff like that to see like how I feel, and I feel pretty good most of the time. I also like to use orange juice. Orange juice is pretty good. It has low fiber, so you aren't running to the bathroom all the time, and it's very high in carbohydrates or sugar, and it's got a lot of vitamin C in it. And for some reason, a lot of sports drinks and even Tailwind has a lot of vitamin C, and I don't know what the importance of that is while running, but I guess it's important. So that has quite a bit of vitamin C. But usually,
the vitamin C would probably come from the whatever flavors in it.
Oh.
Because like if you look, I don't know. I'll look up the plane right now and see what they say.
Yeah, but vitamin C is even in like other sports drinks like Powerade and Gatorade and stuff like that.
Yeah, but usually like a week before a race, I like to go basically all fruits and vegetables. If I'm not already doing it during training, that way I get my body rid of like all the salt and all the excess water that I'm holding on to, and basically get as light as I can before the actual race day. And then on race day, I don't really like to take in any salt. I know in the 50K I drank Gatorade. That's because I didn't want to tell the girl to go get my sugar packet or the bag of sugar. So I just told her that I would have Gatorade instead. But other than that, I don't feel like you need taking a whole lot of salt, especially if you aren't used to drinking a whole lot of salt. And you don't train with a whole lot of salt, then you probably shouldn't be taking in a whole lot of salt during the race.
Anything else?
Not really. I know Mike Arnstein says that he takes salt tabs when he's a fruitarian and he takes salt when he runs. But he says he just puts it like on like a fruit or something and just eats like the fruit until he's satisfied, basically with salt. So he doesn't overeat on salt, but he just eats till he's satisfied. He says you need to take in salt. I've heard other people say you don't need to. Personally, I don't see. It doesn't really. I don't feel like either or matters. I've done both ways without taking salt and with taking salt. I know that taking in salt though makes you definitely have to drink more water though. That's for sure. So,
yeah. Like the point is like generally with taking in salt is that you want to be able to retain water, especially in a hot race.
Uh-huh.
Because in theory, you might be sweating out. Like, I mean, obviously, one of the keys with salt, and with me is I can tell like if I'm starting to get way salty on my face or my arms are getting salty, then I will go to more like a pretzel or a date to kind of break that down and drink a little bit of water rather than just continue putting down, scoop after scoop of Tailwind.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But
Well, also like another good thing about Taiwan is that they don't use iodized salt in their blend. I don't think they use sea salt, which is a bit a better salt than iodized salt. Is a little bit more healthy and has a little bit more mineral content than your typical table salt, which is sodium chloride. So that's a
well,
good.
they use sodium citrate,
Yeah.
so they use a non-iodized sea salt or a salt and then a sea salt as well.
Yeah.
Sea salt, they said had when I talked to them about the sea salt, they said it had less sodium in it than like regular sodium citrate.
Uh-huh. Probably.
So they tried that. No, it doesn't have any vitamin C in it.
Oh.
At least the naked kind.
Oh, okay. Then it was probably like the orange kind or something that it had or something. One of those. They have like
Well, a lot of sports drinks they all have like vitamin C, potassium, and calcium.
Well, like, 'cause those are all minerals. So like you want to like with calcium, like calcium and potassium are both something like potassium you don't want to get off either of those two. And like calcium you want as much because it'll just basically leach from your bones if you need it.
Yeah.
Same with potassium. So the idea is that like, well, Tailwind's ultimate idea is they didn't take anything. They just took what you sweat out, and you sweat out potassium and calcium and magnesium,
yeah.
and obviously sodium. So they just put that same blend back in your body without really looking at the science of what your body is going to use. It's just looking at what it's getting rid of, so you're refilling it with that.
Uh-huh.
So that's why, like, if you look at Tailwind compared to a lot of other products out there, they have a lot more potassium than other stuff. Some of these other guys have a lot more calcium.
Hmm. Yeah, that's what I've noticed in like, well, especially with Tolan, but even just other things, and I don't know. I guess that's why it's good to eat fruits and vegetables because you get a lot of like, especially bananas, you get a lot of potassium from bananas. So like when we were eating them during the races, I guess we were, you get a lot of vitamins and minerals from fruits and vegetables, like fruit, that you don't from other stuff.
Refined foods.
Regardless of how much vitamins they put in a drink, a banana or something's going to have more vitamins and minerals and potassium than any sports drink or anything. So getting those kind of things in the week of or before your race, it's a lot harder during your race because it takes more time. And if you're trying to PR or you're trying to, I don't know, run one of your best races, it's all about time and managing the time during your race. And something like Helen or sports drinks usually a lot easier, and you save a lot more time than having to run to your, I don't know, aide or your person that's aiding you, give you 3 bananas, you have to peel them, or even if they're already peeled, it doesn't matter, you still have to eat them. And now you're running with bananas in your hands, and you're slowing down, and where if you just have your bottle or something that has it in it, and you're just drinking your sports drink, it's a lot easier. You save a lot of time. But as far as like before, even during a race, if you can get in a fruit here or there or dates or something, it's going to be a lot better for your body. But if you're trying to save time, sports drinks and stuff like that's going to, especially like Tailwind or sugar water or something that's a little better for you than like Gatorade. And
Yeah, and if you wanted to, you could probably do like a lemonade too. Um, I haven't really tested that out or anything, but a lemonade might actually be okay too, as like a sports drink or basically a sugar drink, because I don't think it would be considered a sports drink, but lemonade might actually be an idea because you could for freshly squeezed OJ or not OJ, freshly made like lemonade, would be pretty good, but not like Country Time from the store or anything like that, because that's all processed crap. But 5Ks, I mean 5Ks, I wouldn't even say to eat anything before your race. If your race is in the morning, just wake up and drink like 10 ounces of water, 16 ounces of water, maybe 8 ounces of water, and just go run it. Like you don't need to eat. If you have early morning 5K and even a 10K, you don't need to eat in the morning. Eat the night before. Wake up in the morning to run your race, then go out and have something that's high carbohydrate. Because you don't really need to eat for that race. You don't need a front load for that race.
Yeah. I would say the only thing I would do, like for me personally, is that I probably would take some kind of like Cliff Shot gel or some kind of caffeine, like I don't know. For me personally, I don't drink caffeine. The three of us never do. But I know, I mean, obviously the statistics show that caffeine does improve your performance.
Yeah.
Those statistics can't be denied. So hey, like if you want a quick like, especially with a 5K, seconds matter ultimately in that type of race. So if you do want a few more seconds off your race time, then ideally you could put down some like yerba mate tea or drink like half a cup of coffee or put some kind of caffeine down that like put it out long enough before your race that your body has time to absorb that and react to it, and that you don't have to like go to the bathroom right away. But it will hit you soon enough that you can actually get some race performance out of that.
That's one thing that I've noticed because I've ran longer races, like especially when we ran our 50K last May. Well, I didn't have good nutrition during that, but just from running longer races, it's hard to switch from running longer races to shorter races because you're so used to doing all these things before a longer race. Like, I don't know, you eat more food before a longer race and whatnot. And so when I came into my season last year, I started eating like 3 bananas, and there was like one race where I ate like 5, and I get out there, and I ate them like probably an hour or 2 before. So, but when I started racing, I get cramps, and I think it's not from eating bananas because quite frankly they're good for you, but I think it's because I ate too much, and then it's just sitting there in my stomach not like really like digested. And so what I'm going to try to do this season is work with more like more of a, not refined, but like something that's more like sugary, like you said, like that's not going to like sit so heavy in the body, but you will be absorbed and get you like what's basically that small boost of energy that you need in the morning. Because if you have a big meal the night before for a shorter race, you're not going to need a whole lot of food before your race, but you just need like a small little boost. So like eating like 100, 200 calorie like little like gel, or whether that's sugar or whatever it is, like something that's really quick, will definitely, I think, help a lot more than like eating 5 or 6 bananas before a race, or eating like, I don't know, like pancakes or something.
Yeah.
So
what's your worst? Let's go to the worst meal we've ever had the night before the race, day before race, that affected your performance, so that you knew that meal you probably shouldn't have ate. You should have ate something else.
For me, I think it was like some kind of I'm trying to think. It was either pizza or like some kind of spicy food. It just didn't work. Didn't want to work very well. I think it was like some kind of spicy pizza or something like that.
What race was it?
I don't remember off the top of my head.
Oh, you just that was spicy with cheese on it or something, huh?
You gotta go to the bathroom the whole like time you're racing.
Yeah. What about you?
I don't know. I've been running so long, and there's so many races. Well, there's like, I can narrow it down to like especially 2 races. One was marathon, and one was like a 5K I ran in high school. The 5K I ran in high school, the morning of, there was like a men's breakfast at our church, or at this restaurant that our church put on, and I went with one of my friends, and we went with our dad, and I can't remember what I got, but I think I got like pancakes, and of course on pancakes back then you put butter, and you're drinking milk, and then maybe OJ like with it, and then you have bread with butter on it with
Biscuits
jelly or biscuits and so
and sausage and bacon.
so I do that, and I eat like 2 or 3 pancakes, and they're pretty good sized pancakes, and then an hour later we go to a race, and the race is I think that was like at 6, and the race was at like 9 or 10. We go to the race, and I'm just like dead and like cramp up, like you get like a side cramp because you're so like full, and your body's like trying to digest all this food that you just ate. So that was like my sophomore or junior year in high school. So that was back when I didn't really care what the heck I ate, and I just ran cross country, and I just ate whatever the heck I wanted, or whatever was on the table. And then
I'll get this one. I'll take it.
And then the other one Keith's gonna take.
My worst meal by far that I've ever ate was we ran this marathon in 2012, and the night before, Alex had requested, since we thought you needed the carb load the night before, that we eat pizza, which is very high fat meal, but also very high carbohydrate meal too. So we were eating pizza, then
Homemade pizza.
Homemade pizza. My mom threw together on Christmas Day, and we were just munching on that stuff. And I woke up the next morning, and I don't know if it was just the race, but I woke up and my stomach was just, during the run I was getting all gassy and everything, and it was just a bad race. And I was on other supplements in the morning that I probably shouldn't be taking, but I was taking them.
I remember your blend.
I had this carbonated or caffeinated hyper blend that I was making to make me run 26 miles, and it didn't work. So that stuff all got thrown out.
Yeah, pizza. If you're gonna eat it the night before, make sure it doesn't have cheese on it.
Yeah, or meat.
Or meat. Vegan pizza without cheese is gonna be your best option if you like pizza.
Yeah, if that's your pre-race meal, without cheese, without meat, and tons of vegetables, you can pretty much.
Yeah,
you can keep it pretty high carb like that. And don't use ranch or anything as a dipping sauce. Just eat it plain, basically. You don't have to dip your pizza in anything.
Yeah, just put some good tasty vegetable on it. It tastes pretty good. We weren't smart back then though, so we didn't know what the heck we were doing.
Yeah, we did. we thought we did.
We didn't realize that what you ate actually could affect the way you look, the way you race, and the way you are as a whole person. People don't tell you these things, but what you eat definitely affects what you're going to look like, and how you're going to perform,
and how you're going to act.
So we know that now, I think. Yeah, I know that now.
Awesome. Well, you guys want to move on?
Yeah, it's next order of business.
Yeah, what's the next deal?
Let's make this stuff quick.
What was our long run for last weekend? I ran last weekend.
Oh yeah, he ran.
My first.
It's not on Strava yet.
What?
It's not on Strava.
Not yet.
Yeah, you guys need to keep him accountable.
I posted a run after it on YouTube. Why don't you go take a look? A video of my watch. It's on YouTube.
Your last run says it was March 27th.
Yeah, that's not true.
Anyways, how far did you go?
Oh, my long run, which was my first long run for the whole year, besides the race and anything previous to the race in January. I ran 10 miles, and I hadn't ran in 2 weeks, but it was Sunday, 6 o'clock. I hadn't done anything all day. Was lazy all day, and so I was like, I think it was like 5:30 actually. So I was like, oh, I'm gonna go on a run. So I put on my running stuff, and I finished like half my smoothies, like 500 calories, and then I just took off, and then I'm running, and I'm like, oh, I'll probably run 6, and then I keep on going, and I'm like, no, I'll do 8, and then I just keep on running, and then I got to like 4 miles. I was like, yeah, let me just go. I'll just go 1 more mile and then I'll turn around and run back. So I got to 5 and ran back, and I felt good afterwards. But Monday and Tuesday I was pretty sore, and today I'm pretty sore too. So that's what happens when you don't run for 2 weeks and then you run 10 miles. You're pretty much going to be sore the next day.
Yeah.
But eventually it wears up, it starts to wear off, and you can run like 15 without being sore the next day. So yeah. That was my long run for the weekend.
My long run this past weekend was 20 miles. I did it in like 4 hours and 6 minutes. That was with a few breaks because I did one run and then we had a group join us, and then the next group we ran another like I don't know. I had the math. I had the run right here. So we did like five. We did about 5.5 miles for the first group, and then we had some more folks join us, and then we did from mile 5.5 to like the mile, like about 9 miles together, and then everyone had to leave. So we got to about 14.5, and then I do the last like 4.5 on my own. So I got 20 miles total, and then Sunday I did a 6 mile, 6.5 mile run on Sunday, and I did a 2-hour mountain bike ride.
Nice.
So I ended the last week with like 9.5 hours of training total.
Not bad.
How many miles?
Total running is 57.5.
It's not bad.
That's pretty good.
That was my longest week since the week of March 17th, which is like 65-ish.
Oh, cool.
So, and then this week it's just been kind of a recovery week to start building back up again.
Uh-huh.
So, yeah, you can see her plan like this. This is I guess like a three week cycle that we did. So like, I don't know, but yep. And then next week, this coming up Saturday is a 15 miler for me that I'm running up in Waco, Texas.
Oh, that'll be nice.
Yep.
That'll be good. Yeah. I didn't do any long runs this weekend or running in general. I was gonna go on a bike ride on Saturday, but I figured it was more important for me to go to work to make money than it was for me to go on a bike ride. So I decided to go to work instead of riding my bike. In the next 2 weeks, we'll be off of group riding, so I won't probably touch the bike until 3 weeks from now. The next week, I'll probably start running again. So yeah, I don't really have a long run coming up this weekend. I don't think. Maybe 4 minutes, maybe.
Sunday, I think I'm gonna get another 10 in.
Yeah.
Nice.
I just started training with my team for cross country for the next season, so I'll like have to start, like actually training now. So
Yeah.
Sunday was a good day to start, I guess. So.
Yeah, I'm training for the San Diego Rock and Roll, but I don't know when I'm gonna actually start training. I know that the distance of the marathon is easy for me, but I want to try to see if I can pull a pretty good time. So next week I'm gonna have to start picking it up a little bit.
That's coming in June, right?
Yeah, it's like June 1st, I think, so it's almost like a month and a half away. So we'll see what kind of training I can scrounge up and what time I can pull.
Isn't Joseph and Obed doing that one too?
Probably not. Too expensive.
Too expensive.
We're gonna do a race soon though. Probably in May.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I haven't done one since January.
Yeah, this has been a long time off.
This is what happens when I run an ultra race. I just want to not run. I tell myself I'm going to run, but I don't. It's just. That's what happened last year. when I ran the 50K in May, and I took like June and July off. Which
Yeah.
was a blessing because then I had to recoup and start building up for cross country again. So I don't think I'm gonna do that this year.
Um,
Yeah. I don't know. You guys want to do what's for dinner or what you eat for dinner? Or
yep.
I said we don't do what we ate all day. What we ate for dinner is pretty solid.
Yeah.
Um,
Or what you ate?
we went to Torchy's Tacos in Austin, and I had a fried avocado taco and a regular avocado taco, and chips and guacamole and salsa,
Dude, that's awesome, man.
and root beer brewed
That's
in
it.
Austin.
That sounds pretty good right now.
Wow. Yeah, you tempting me.
I only got 6 days left, so then I can start eating that stuff again.
That's after we went shopping at Whole Foods.
Wait, what's the place called that you went?
Torchy's Tacos.
Torchy's Tacos. Hey, if you guys are in Austin, check out Torchy's Tacos.
Yep. So what
The
about you?
fried avocado taco, I hear it's the bomb. Do you have other vegan options there, or is that pretty
No.
pretty solid?
No, there's like a ton of them.
There's a ton of Torchy's? Or a ton
Yeah,
of
ton
or
of
both?
ton of vegan restaurants.
It's not a vegan restaurant?
No,
See,
it's not.
Like
But
we live
you can get your food there.
in San
Okay.
Diego, and I don't even know any of these. I don't even know. I only know like one solid vegan restaurant that's fast food. Well, two, I guess.
Yeah.
But one's just high-fat gourmet that's really expensive.
Yeah.
Like, I gotta start researching these things.
Yeah, we gotta get out more. What are you gonna eat for dinner?
I'm
Or
gonna
have you
eat.
ate dinner?
I haven't eaten dinner. I'm probably going to eat a smoothie with bananas and frozen fruit or something, and whatever other fruit we have in the house that's ripe. Because I'm raw right now, so I've been eating as much fruit as I can.
Yeah.
So, yeah, fruit.
Yeah, me? I just had a Tim Banana smoothie with mangoes. Probably about a couple mangoes, and then that was like lunch though, but that was only like 2 hours ago. So in a little bit, I'll probably cut open. We have like these yellow honeydew melons. I'll probably cut them open and then eat one, and then that'll cap off the night for dinner or dessert, whatever you want to call it. So yeah, that's pretty solid for me.
Nice.
They've been sitting there for 3 weeks. They're ripe and ready to be eaten. Yeah.
Well, does that wrap it up?
Yep.
All right.
You got us on the closer?
Yeah, all right, close. All right, so thanks for watching. Don't forget to check us out on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, all the social media websites.
Instagram.
We're all on there. You can find me, Joseph Bridgeforth, Alex Bridgeforth, Keith Bridgeforth, and yeah, don't stop running. See you in the next video.
Peace.